Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Loser Lee's Wrestling. Welcome to Loser Lee's Wrestling. We are your hosts, Red Jefferson and Roy Hammer.
Oh.
Pew, 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 pew. I don't know what was going on. Everything's wacky for me today. Like, I'm pressing the soundboards, and it was just like, I press kids cheering, yay. So I click on it. It's just like, bloop, bloop, bloop.
That's all you heard? I heard kids cheering.
Oh, you did? Well, I eventually did. Eventually. Yeah. But you didn't hear the bloops? Okay, you're kind of good. Welcome to the show. This is AEW, the woos and whats of AEW Dynamite. Wow. And what a show.
What a double whopper with cheese. What a show.
Yikes.
What a show.
Yikes. Today was one of the most exciting shows I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe the most exciting one this year.
Certainly possible.
Just some housekeeping real quick. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling. Please follow us on Twitter as Loser Leaves Pod. Send us an email at loserleavespod@gmail.com. Call us on the hotline. We have a brand new voicemail. That's a lot more generic than it's ever been, but it's fine. It suits the purposes. Call 201-574-7222. That's the hotline. Leave us a message. Send us and also listen to our podcast. We have the most recent episode of the podcast. We'll talk about that later. We'll find a way to bring that into it. Let's start it off hot. We're talking about AEW Dynamite. S is in the chat. What up, wieners?
Yo, King Wiener.
Wait, damn, I'll do it later. I was going to do the enemy spotted. Brooklyn Bleak is in the chat. Welcome, Brooklyn Bleak. And Becky Lynch takes shots at AEW. Becky Lynch, did she take shots at AEW?
She did take shots. I'm sure that'll be covered on Saturday in the Weekly Wrestle.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's get into it.
Her shots, by the way, justified. Yeah, let's get into it.
What were her shots?
She just said that the women's division in the WWE spends more time focusing on the women's division than the AEW.
Oh, yeah, she's 100% right.
And she's 100% accurate.
And this show... But we'll talk about it later. Let's get into the show.
Yeah.
Wow. The night starts off with CM Punk on commentary.
Yeah. Great commentator.
What's that?
Great commentator.
Oh, great commentator. Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking of something right now. I was thinking that I used to hate AEW commentary where it's like 4, 5 people, 6 people just sitting there. Starting to like it.
Yeah, it really doesn't sound that crowded.
I think they do a good job of bowing out when they need to.
Yeah.
And people like when CM Punk's in there and he's like being funny and he's talking about the match in a different, interesting way. Yeah. He made one comment when we had the opening match, Dax Harwood versus Cash Wheeler, which was a great opener. Opener for the Owen Hart Invitational Tournament Foundation. But once something CM Punk said, he's just like, he goes for a splash, Dax. He's just like, there was no water in the pool.
I love that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I was going to call that out too. I love that.
Just these little things. So I'm very happy with the commentary. Let's talk about the match though.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was very, very good.
Yeah. I thought it was very, very good. I thought the pacing of the match was perfect because here's the thing. They're not going to change their style just because they're not in a tag team and they're singles. Like, they wrestle the same. They have the same kind of style. It's a methodical, like, mat-based style, if you will. And, of course, they go to the top rope. There's some big power moves, etc. But they weren't going to speed anything up. They didn't change their approach. And it was just the perfect speed, the entire match. They built it really well. It was great.
Brooklyn Bleak says, damn good match. Damn good match. Just like Kyle McLaughlin would say on Twin Peaks. Damn good match. We have 6 likes.
That noise is my enemy.
We're all very excited for this sound effects. But yeah, great match. I will say that it's not. I could imagine them having a better match.
I think they held back.
I definitely think they held back, and I think that's good because I want to see this again.
Yeah,
I like their styles. I'm very excited. Let's just talk about a few things that happened in the match. They start off with some great chain wrestling, and then you have that accidental poke in the eyes by Dax. Was it an accident or was it reflex? You know, who knows? But then it starts getting really slugging each other. They're hitting very hard. They're hitting each other very hard, which is the fun. Yeah. Maybe if you listen to our recent episode on the Stone Cold roast of Stone Cold, what is it? Broken Ranch?
Broken Skull Sessions. That's it.
The Broken Ranch Skull Session with Bubba Ray Dudley. We have a new podcast where we cover it and talking about, honestly, this is the same style. Just hard hitting, making things look good, hitting hard in the right places. And this was that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You're, we're gonna talk about it.
FTR, Bubba Ray is not in the class of FTR. I'm sorry, but keep going.
I don't think they're far off.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he's as good as them. I'm just saying that like the similar style.
Yeah, the style of professional wrestling that FTR does currently wasn't really in vogue in North American wrestling in the early 2000s. So, could I say that the Dudley Boys, in a lot of ways, were the FTR of their time? Maybe you could say that potentially.
Well, let's go with that. I like that.
Everybody's happy.
But we did see FTR's trunks. Did you see those trunks?
I loved those trunks.
As a tribute to Bret the Hit. Oh, the Hart, not Bret Hart, but the Harts in general.
Yeah.
They wore the pink and black. But really good match. Any thoughts based off this match? We had with the Dax going for the sharpshooter at the end.
Yeah.
And then Cash trying to roll him up, and Dax just rolls over a little bit more and gets the pin.
Well, I also like that. So, they roll out of the ring right before that. Cash grabs his knee. He's got a knee thing. Dax goes to put that sharpshooter on. He's like, I'm going to take advantage of this injury. And he's like, I can't do this to him. And then he tries to roll him up. And then he tries to roll him. It was great. It was a great finish. It was really thoughtful. It was really smart. 2 things, 3 things. I don't know. I love that they came out together, but also separate. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of like that. I like that intro. And then they kind of entered the ring at the same time. I love that the Philly crowd just ate this fucking matchup from the very beginning. They were completely on board, even though, and like we talked about, love the pacing, etc. But this wasn't a classic AEW Dynamite opening match with, a lot of crazy shit happening or CM Punk. This was like a more methodical match, but the crowd was into it every second, every step of the way. And also, hey gang, hey Philly, all these signs that are like, don't break up, oh FTR, don't hate each other, please. They're cool. Everybody's cool.
Let them fight each other sometimes. That's part of the fun. I remember thinking like, not to bring it back to the Dudley Boys, but I remember seeing that episode of SmackDown where they had to fight each other. I was just like, hell yes. Yeah. They wanted to win.
Right. Exactly. And remember how often the Hardys would fight each other back in like 99 and 2000?
So much fun. It's so much fun. So let's not, they're staying together and they're better pals. Stay together. But we get that win, and FTR hug and celebrate after is very sweet. But just a very good match. Very good match.
Absolutely.
Then we get the
opener.
We get an official announcement afterward. Official announcement that Double or Nothing, Punk will face Hangman Adam Page. And we were expecting this, right?
Yeah. Apparently, I saw a tweet from old Dave Meltzer that Tonight Show had Smelly Meltzer. That Tonight Show had to be heavily rewritten because Hangman had COVID.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he was not there because he has COVID.
Very interesting. That's very interesting to note because this show felt so rushed. It felt like it was a breakneck pace. Every single one of the Tony Schiavone interviews in the back, Tony is talking a mile a minute. He's just like, we're here with Ruby Soho, Tony Storm, and Breaker, and it was pretty interesting. But then we get Punk walking to the ring right after this announcement.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, which leads me also to believe they're running short on time. They're like, literally, keep everything short. And he says he's gonna keep this short. He was asking himself when he first got here, can I still do this? Can I still do this? And when he said that, the guy behind him near the crowd, did you see him scream? Yeah, you're not doing it. Just, honestly, if I were Punk, I would have broke. That was just, it was right near your face. You looked at him. It was so loud that you're just like, what? It was pretty funny. I would love to be that guy or meet that guy. There's a part in there. He's just like, no offense to anyone I've ever wrestled. Besides Eddie Kingston. But everyone was a warm-up match, and I was just thinking about that real quick before we go on. I think that him and Punk and Eddie, they like each other.
Oh yeah, they love each other, I think.
They do, right? I think that's all a word, right?
It is. There was a tweet after Punk said that. Eddie tweeted something very funny, which I'm going to find in a second. Did you also happen to notice he tweeted, "Who gives a fuck, Punk? Shut up." It's really funny. Did you happen to notice Kip Sabian in the background? This is my favorite thing to try to find. This is my favorite. The guy with the cardboard box on his head is Kip Sabian.
That was Kip Sabian?
This in the background. He does this every week. He sits in the front row of every show every week with a cardboard box on his head.
Kip Sabian?
Yes, he's been doing this for months, I think.
Why is he doing this? And why haven't we talked about it ever?
I don't know, but he's got the box, and it says, like, there's 2 eye holes cut out of it.
Yeah, I seen that. I know who you're talking about.
And it says underrated, forgotten about or something on this cardboard box.
I've seen that a million times, and I've literally never batted an eye. I was just like, yeah, that's. I didn't even think that could have been a thing. But it's Kip Sabian. Wow.
The way the camera was set up too for a while, I was like, "There's no fucking way that Kip Sabian's gonna jump the guardrail and beat the shit out of CM Punk right now." Right? And I was hoping so badly that it would happen, but no.
Remember when Bray Wyatt first started coming back with the kids show thing, and he had the puppets in the background of when people were talking?
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. And
sure.
Maybe this is kind of like that. We
so.
have some comments here. John Buseman's in the chat.
Yes.
John says, "Yo punks walk and talk with the camera following ruled. So nice to see something different. Gives it urgency. Yes,
100%.
I think because they were running short on time, everyone had a sense of urgency, and this felt like AEW on coke. It was very active. It was just so." Energy driven. What do you think?
I'm gonna ask you a question. I don't know if you can answer it, but let me ask you this question, because we talk about how AEW sometimes tries to squeeze too much in, and it kind of feels a little rushed. It feels messy. They squeezed a lot in tonight, but I don't think it felt that way. What do you think the difference was? Unless it felt that way to you, then there was no difference.
Because everyone had to do it. Mm-hmm. I feel like when everyone's doing it, and then there's this one thing that's just taking fucking forever.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, yeah, this feels disjointed. This was it felt like it all stayed in theme, never stopped, never move, always moving. It was very interesting. Esro, I didn't see the promo. Did Punk start a heel turn at all during the promo? No, he did not. Mm-mm. No, he did not. Mm-mm. He made some slight Eddie reference, but that the crowd was like, "What?" But that was fine. Michael Kavanaugh's in the chat.
Michael.
Wow. Michael says, "I thought Kip Sabian was going to do it."
Thank you, Michael.
What was he going to do?
Thank you. Jump the guardrail and beat up Punk.
That'd be weird. That'd be so dumb. That'd be the dumbest shit. Fuck that. Give him. He's going the way of Marco Stent soon.
No, he's sticking around. He's British. They need British talent.
Whatever. We have to talk. We have to keep moving on.
But yeah, Penelope Ford. Anyway.
But Punks did say that he's got to keep going. He's going to keep fighting until the wheels fall off. And I thought that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We got a couple more. Thank you. Next up, we have Dan Lambert in the back with Scorpio Skye. And Scorpio Skye does some talking. It wasn't half bad.
Yeah. This is really, really interesting. I can't wait to talk about the main event.
I can't wait too.
We're going to need a good 45 minutes to talk about that main event.
I have 3 pages of notes. I'm not even joking. It's real. Yeah. It's real. And I did this while still having... I got the new WWE 2K22.
You got a PlayStation 5, huh?
Yeah. And I got to tell you, it hits different.
What's going on with this?
Yeah, I've got workout gloves now. I don't know. It just felt right after playing the video game. Just hits different, you know? Just hits different.
One eternity later.
I didn't even know what I was doing there.
I was really curious. Never mind. I'll talk later.
That's a crazy pattern.
This is crazy. The blur is really screwing up the gloves. It's okay.
I'm gonna stop doing it. I'm just gonna stop doing it. Michael Cavanaugh says that Tony Hawk doc is good, by the way.
It's so fucking good. It's
is it good?
So
Where is it on?
It's incredible. It's on HBO. Great soundtrack. Great story. It's incredible. I don't know where that came from, but I love it.
No, that's Michael Cavanaugh. That wasn't for you, Michael. I just pressed the button. Don't take it personally. Next up, we have the Blackpool Combat Club, the BCC versus the Nightmare. No, the Factory. We could call it the Nightmare. Starting to, I was said in this, I started to like these guest commentators because we had William Regal on.
Yeah.
And William Regal's so much better at commentating
He's so
than
fun.
anything else. He literally starts off, he always makes fun of Excalibur, but he's always talking about what he's doing, working on young Utah, and then he really talks glowingly of Bryan Danielson. He's just like, he's everything I wish I was.
Did you hear him say early on in the match, he said something like, it's going to teach him how to knock the granny out of him.
No, it's beat the granny out of them. Beat the granny out of them. And then JR's just like, Granny! Granny! What are you doing, JR?
JR's out of his mind tonight.
He's
JR
nuts.
is out of his mind.
JR had a few too many Moscow mules last night, and he is cranky.
I've told you my theory that like he is drinking during those shows, right? Because based on being there and seeing the announce table and seeing drinks being passed, I don't know. I'm just saying he's having a good time. He's having.
I don't think those are drinks. Those are empty cups that they're bringing them back full. Dude's pissing in cups.
He's only out there for 2 hours.
He's peeing his pants the entire goddamn. He talks about it all the time on his podcast. He constantly talks about peeing himself during broadcasts. Brooklyn Bleak says, "Are those gaming gloves? They are now, dog. I use it for working out and for gaming, so I don't build calluses on my hands."
I didn't know that there was a such thing as gaming gloves.
I didn't know either. I guess that makes sense. The hands do sweat. I took forever to make myself, and there's already issues. For some reason, my mustache is green, and I can't change it.
I've heard that the Creative Suite, like the hair, all the hair options aren't very good.
We have to talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that on the Weekly Wrestle this Saturday.
Maybe
I'll give you a review.
That's a great idea.
You're going to hear my review. Okay. But we got the Blackpool Combat Club, and they start off beating the shit out of, who is it? QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, and Camacho.
This whole match kind of blends together to me. I just wanted to see them fucking get crushed, and eventually they got crushed.
It took a little too long for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people should have. We're trying to build up BCC. We don't care about the factory. I don't think anyone cares about the factory.
They're not going to be winning any matches anytime.
And you know who was taking the beating was Yuta, and Yuta's in his hometown. They want to see this guy beat the shit. They loved Yuta.
They loved Yuta.
Gotta
tell you though, indifferent about his gear. Don't love white.
You only like white when there's blood, and you get very upset when they try to fool you.
Yeah,
that's it. That's honestly true. It. You have this positive response reinforcement that whenever you see white pants, you're getting your blood. Yeah. You didn't get blood today, and I hate you for it.
It's not. It's okay. Well, it's not that cut and dry. I just think like his pants are like a little baggy too. Like what's going on here?
Okay. Maybe we'll write a letter. Maybe we'll talk about it on the Weekly Wrestle this Saturday.
Yeah, maybe we will.
Regal constantly talks about Bryan Danielson, and then what I really like is that the Blackpool Combat Club, they're doing moves at the same time in the middle of the ring to finish matches, which I love. Like they all hit someone with something, whether it be the various submissions or a pin, and Yuta gets the pin here, and it was a good time had by all.
100%. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely.
Next up, we get the fastest segment I've ever seen people talking. Tony Schiavone with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Tori Storm.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm. Get out of my fucking life, brain. I hate you. And Ruby Soho was there as well.
She comes up later.
Yeah, but they're talking, and I have no idea what any of them have said up until Ruby Soho got there, and she gave a decent.
I was gonna say she did a good job until
this is the best she's ever sounded.
Yeah,
the absolute best she's ever sounded. Where she's talking about what she's going to do in the tournament, and she's like, in the words of Owen Hart, "Enough is enough. It's time for a change."
Great,
very good stuff.
She didn't go whoa, but that's okay.
It would have been nice if she went.
Yeah, he did used to do.
Yeah, he did use it. I would love to. Well, we should do a Owen Hart retrospective soon.
We should. That's next.
That's next. But yeah, after that we get Tony Schiavone ran really fast, really fast over to Jungle Express, Jurassic Express, and Christian Cage.
I love this.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna love this. Jungle Boy says he last week he knows he could have had him. He just knows he could have had him, and Christian's just like, yeah, it sucks that you think that you weren't looking like a loser or something like that. And he's just like, because you are a loser, because you lost. Simple as that. But you guys are going to have a tag team match against blah, blah, blah. And we're going to find you the best opponents. Yeah. And the entire time he's dissing Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy's looking there just like, who? Just like an idiot.
But I loved what Christian was like, and you're a champion. So put that belt over your shoulder like a champion. He was talking down to him like a disappointed dad, and I loved it.
It was pretty good.
Because Jungle Boy needs a dad who's going to bloody him up, beat the shit out of him, and be like, hey, you may have beaten me, but your name's not fucking Jungle Boy anymore. It's time to take it to another level. Do you want to be like Sammy Guevara, or do you want to be a real professional wrestler?
And then Jungle Boy's like, you're not my dad! But honestly, Christian, it doesn't look like Luke Perry, but kind of does. Yeah. They have the same forehead.
Hey, classically good looking Christian. I don't care what Vince McMahon says.
No, he's not.
Come on.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. I like
Come
Christian.
on.
I like Christian, but classically good looking. You see his face, and you're like, I could see how someone could like him. Like he's like yeah. You have to get to know his personality, I think, a little bit. But yeah, when he was younger, but the older he gets, the more like Joe Torre he looks.
Look, this is my feeling here, and I don't care what
That's not a
anybody
bad
says.
comparison.
That's pretty funny. That's really funny. But I want to just say, I just want to throw this out there that everybody thought Edge was more handsome. Edge was the handsomer of the two.
Yeah.
Christian's aged better.
I think they aged about the same. I think they both aged like catcher's mitts. Brooklyn Bleak says Yuta got a new theme song. I didn't notice.
I didn't
That's
actually
good.
notice that.
S says, did either of you see QT versus Suzuki on Dark? It was really good. QT takes a beating well. I enjoyed seeing him get his ass kicked in the good heat kind of way. You should check it out. We might actually. That sounds like a fun time.
I've heard he's like, but if you go see him in person, he's incredible as a heel because he just takes the heat. Everybody yells at him. He yells, but it's great. Apparently,
very easy to hate him.
Yeah,
very easy to hate him.
He is.
John Busman writes, Christian is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you for agreeing with me. Do you because that Vince McMahon was like, that guy can never be heavyweight champion because he's so ugly. He's not ugly.
Listen, I don't think he's ugly. I don't think he's ugly. I wouldn't say that about him. I wouldn't say that. Well, I have. I definitely have. But like I think that he's just, you said classically handsome, and I don't think that. I don't think he's classically good looking. I think he's good looking in a I've gotten hit in my face kind of way. That's not bad. There's good looking people that have gotten hit. Kenny Florian, good looking guy.
I'm not sure I know who that is. Actually.
BattleBots co-host.
Oh, Kenny Florian. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Good looking guy.
Yeah, but Kenny Florian was like legitimately punched in the face a bunch of times.
Yeah, but Christian looks like he's gotten hit harder. Just
That's
does.
cold.
I like Christian. Come on now.
Yeah,
you're the one who was making a big deal out of this. I think Christian's very good looking. You're kind of making it weird. Then we get at the end of that little segment with Christian, who comes in but Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, and they want the championship.
Yeah.
And this is looking good.
Very cool.
I'm excited for that type of matchup.
Yeah,
that's something I could get behind. I would enjoy seeing that matchup because Ricky, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Hobbs, I think that'd be pretty good. And I'd really love to see them get those titles.
It feels very different too. Like at this point, I feel like they've been fighting the same 4 tag teams their entire run. Like this feels different, and that's exciting. Yeah,
no, I agree. And can't wait to see what happens next. John Busman writes, oh, no, we have a few more. S says, excited to see Supersized Edge next week on Dynamite. Supersized Edge.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
We'll talk about that. John Busman, getting hit in the face handsome is a throwback classic kind of handsome, though. I'm not saying it is a throwback handsome. I'll say it's a throwback. But
that's
classic,
a good way to put Christian.
He's a throwback. Sure. He's handsome.
Kind of handsome.
He's a handsome, like a sheriff in the Old West.
He's rugged.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that. Like, I don't think he's ugly.
Be ruggedly handsome.
Let's smack you up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm too soft.
We'll get some calluses on those cheeks. John Busman writes, smooth brain lizard. What? Was snotted out of my nose. What does that mean? Smooth brain lizard.
Is that
Busman just wrote no. Oh, smooth brain lizard. Oh, I don't remember brain. Jumping lizards or something like that. I forget what JR said.
Lizard man.
Leaping lizards.
Lizard man.
Lizard man.
Oh, Jungle Boy's being held out by Lizard Man.
God, if there's ever anyone I've ever met in my life, JR needs a Snickers. Like 100%. Needs a fucking Snickers.
Too much WWE.
Okay, now we got but like Snickers breaks where you give them big and then they change back to a normal sounding person.
Do you remember there was one where like Steve Buscemi was arguing with a little kid? Yeah. He was getting mad at him and they gave him a Snickers and he was a little kid again.
So. I loved it. There's this one where Robin Williams is on the football field. Do you remember that?
No.
Robin Williams is in a Snickers commercial. And Robin Williams is just like, he's being like the coach. He's like, you got to run over here and you got to go over there. And there's a later and all that stuff. And then like, coach, you're acting a little wonky. You should have a Snickers. And then he has a Snickers. Anyone else remember this? We have also John Busman, right? Ricky said that the Luchasaurus, smooth brain lizard. I missed that.
Oh, really? I missed that. That's really funny.
S. Rhodes, throwback is a synonym for classic. Let's not get into semantics. Oh, throwback? That's a move that John Cena used. Remember that? Throwback?
I would also argue, though, that classic has multiple meanings, and classic is like classically handsome. That doesn't necessarily... We don't have to get into this. Let's keep rolling.
No, I think this is a very important thing to keep going with.
I just think classic can mean like, oh, that's classic. That's classic. But like classic just means like iconic. Like
I don't think it's
status
iconic.
Quo.
That's two different things.
Yeah.
Iconic, like par.
Like totally normal.
Really mid. We gotta keep going.
Yeah, we gotta keep going.
Next up, we get the sleeper of the night.
I love that you think that.
The fucking sleeper match of the night. Lance Archer versus Wardlow. Did they just figure out everything that Wardlow needs to be doing in one match? Did they figure? Well, one thing. I have an idea for another thing. Let's talk. Let me break. Ooh, you have thoughts.
Keep going.
Okay, let's. So we get Lance music sucks. I wrote Lance's music sucks.
Everything
it sounds like Bon
Jovi. Yeah.
Honestly, at parts it sounds like he's about to say, "It's my life."
I do. I just think Lance. I've said this before, so this isn't new, but like. Lance Archer is supposed to be this badass that kills everybody. He's like huge. He's bigger than everyone. He's crazy and he's scary. But then he's like, hey, can you dye my hair red and put multiple braids in my hair? And can I wear pants that have glitter on them and they're really sparkly? Like, he still dresses like a glam rocker from early 2000s, but yet he also says everybody dies and he kills a bunch of people. So I have a hard time taking him seriously. And when you say his music sucks, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because a lot of things about him kind of suck.
One thing is, like, there's something that was really good about him when he first got in. Just was like, I'm going to destroy everyone thing. Yeah. Jake was really hot then.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you remember Lance Archer's back in TNA?
Sure.
Back. You remember his tattoo on his back?
Yeah.
I don't want to say use a derogatory term, but it's a tramp stamp. And I really
lower
feel
back tattoo.
The best way to describe Lance Archer is a tramp stamp. Yeah. Like, I feel like he's like the tramp stamp of pro wrestling, where like he's it's actually terrible. I have to stop.
Well, I'm going to compliment him big in a minute.
Oh yeah, let's get into it. Well, MJF comes out and he makes fun. He has a pretty good joke here, and it's a birth control joke, but it's fun. He's just like,
it's funny I'm sorry, go.
Do you know what he says to Spears? You know what Philadelphia women use for birth control? Their personalities, and that's just a classic Philadelphia joke. I just like the idea of making fun of Philadelphians, not women.
I think it's funny that as he was saying that joke, there was like a little girl standing up and looking at him.
I like jokes that make you think that he's going to do something fucked up, but in all honesty, he just says something mean about them personally, which is nice. He brings out Pig, and Wardlow comes out, no music again, which is great. I think they should keep this forever.
Yeah.
I would love it. Him coming out with no music, with the cops, they have to unchain him, and then he goes in the ring. And what he does, by the way, Justin Roberts,
yeah.
You know did you hear what he called Wardlow?
No.
He messed up. He called him Waldo.
I didn't hear that.
I'm almost 100% sure. If anyone can confirm that, watch the old tape. I might actually rewatch it because I'm pretty sure he called him Waldo. And Lance sentons onto the group of security guards at the very start with Wardlow in it. And then they just go to town. Wardlow hits him with a Hurricane Rana out of nowhere, moving so fast. He does that RVD kind of like a shoulder tackle thing in the corner, moving great. A total 180 from him versus Butcher.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Butcher sucked. That was a sucky match.
Yep.
High intensity, great job. Then Archer was looking dominant as well. Jake brings nothing to the table, I wrote. Not anymore. And then we get 4 power bombs and then the win. There was some issues here. I'm curious about what your thoughts on the match, because you seem to have mixed facial expression.
Yeah, I have a mixed facial expression because I don't think Wardlow's figured it out. I think Lance Archer is great. I think this was great. I think Lance Archer, they finally put him in the ring with someone who's bigger and stronger than him, so he got to be the smaller guy. And he wrestles like he is a smaller guy. We've never seen him. Granted, there's a lot of assumptions here because I've never seen him work outside of AEW, but he's always been cast as the monster. So he can't do these ultra athletic things, but that's who he is. So he looked great tonight because he got to wrestle someone who was huge. He got to be the smaller guy. So he was in a position that he was much more comfortable in, and he looked good. He shouldn't be wrestling, just to make this like very like cut and dry. He shouldn't be wrestling like Kane or the Big Show. Like, he shouldn't be wrestling like them. He should be wrestling like Brock in 2002. Ultra athletic, ultra agile, ultra strong. His finishing move is still a power move, but let him flip around a little bit. Let him do like quick. Let him move fast. He's a freak. Let him work like a freak. No one in AEW looks like him.
That's actually a very interesting point, and I think that's a great way to tackle this. I actually thought during the match, I was just like watching him wrestle, the way that he was wrestling, and I think you're very right with the big man, little man thing. But the thing is, he kind of, when he wrestles like this and he's this confident, then I see his personality coming out the ring, kind of smiling, joking around, doing the face he does. And he does that in the back where he says kind of silly, goofy things, a little cringy, almost like Roman Reigns 3-4 years ago.
Sure. Yeah.
But then I realized like the way he wrestles, him being brought out to the ring in handcuffs, then like that kind of attitude he has, it's almost like Brock Lesnar had a baby with Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
And out came Wardlow, who has like Brock Lesnar athleticism with Kevin Nash kind of like demeanor.
Yeah.
And if you bring him out with people like guarding him and handcuffing him, he's this badass that no one could trust because he's going to run away. He's going to try and fuck people up. So they have to bring him out and then immediately take him away so no one else gets hurt. Yeah. Love that, because he's just a guy at the bar that's joking, making fun, everyone thinks he's cool up until he like stabs you, because he's just like, it's just good fun. It's just good fun. Mr. Mayhem. I'm into it now. I'm into Mr. Mayhem.
Yeah, I think that's a great call. That combination and the presentation, like you said, is whether it was intentional or not, it's fucking great. No music, no video. He's in handcuffs. He's surrounded by security. And then as soon as it's over, he gets cuffed again and has to fucking just go back. And you only ever see him.
One thing that he did tonight, and I really wish they would change. So he went out and he came back out of the ring and he put his hands together like, here, cuff me, right?
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want the security team, as soon as the match is over, as soon as they tackle him. And then he always goes away screaming, like laughing, like, yeah, well, you got me this time. And then every now and then they don't get him and he runs away. And they're like, what is he going to do outside? And then you see all these broken bodyguards in the back, and security's all smashed up. Someone's car's flipped over, and just like, Wardlow got away again.
I think that's really fun, but I also think that kind of contradicts what you just pitched. Because Kevin Nash, like the cool Kevin, like he's Brock Lesnar in the ring. He's Kevin Nash outside the ring. He's like,
no, but I see him as a criminal. I see him as a criminal that's just like the cool. He's Snake. He's Snake from The Simpsons. He's that guy that's just going to smooth back his hair, gonna fuck people up and try to get away. And then he'll get captured and he'll laugh about it. Even though he's fighting, he'll like, as soon as they look away, he's going to break those handcuffs off and smash their heads together like melons. I'm into it. Yeah. I'm into it. But he also needs to work on his fucking taunts during those power bombs.
Yeah.
He has to work on that.
He was doing something where he was like he was grabbing his head or something. Like,
man, he doesn't know when to take his time and when not to. The thing is, like, you're leaving too much breathing room in there, and they kind of picked up towards the end, but like in the middle, like between one, the powerbomb takes forever. Two powerbomb takes forever. Yep. Then he gets the third powerbomb and he does it fast, so people are excited. They want to see you do the powerbombs in succession. I know he's a big guy and it's hard to do, but he does this for everyone, even smaller guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mean to
I agree with you. You're right about that.
Any other thoughts on this?
It's great.
Sick. John Busman writes, explosive Wardlow is the best Wardlow.
Yeah.
I concur. That's 100% accurate. Brooklyn Bleak says, yeah, Lance still Lance still in his TNA rock and rave infection
Right.
thing.
Yes.
We would walk to the ring playing a Guitar Hero controller.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
I almost thought that was a 3-man band, but I guess they had the same gimmick.
Yeah, they sure did.
S writes, I've seen shoot interviews with Archer, and he's a big-time Christian. Dude is just a bizarre combo of traits. Yeah, I'm not liking that.
Yeah, so strange.
Not trying to. Hey, if you're Christian, that's great. I just grew up in a place where I hated my family. Moving on. Brooklyn Bleak says, but why the colorful hair extensions? I guess that's from his NJPW days. Honestly, it feels like appropriation.
A little bit, right?
Yeah. It just doesn't feel right. Brooklyn Bleak says, yeah, Lance Hoyt Archer used to do moonsaults and dives in TNA. Yeah, that's cool. Like, I don't need people to do that to like them. As far as I think you have his entrance be like Goldberg entrance, but the security escorts him to the ring to protect the rest of the AEW roster from him. Yeah.
Right.
I'm into that. I'm into it. We have to keep going because next we get the Jericho Appreciation Society. And what could be best described as the messiest little segment?
So messy. Messy.
Absolutely disjointed, but all the individual pieces, I'm fine with.
Yeah, right.
Because when Jericho and everyone came out, Magic Daddy got on the mic and he's just like, this is the Jericho Appreciation Society. The entertainer, he said something. I forget what he said.
I love that intro before the song where it's the voiceover of like the Jericho Appreciation Society, the biggest sports entertainers for 7 weeks going or whatever it is. Fantastic.
We make him sound like a Looney Tunes character, but he kind of does.
He is.
But then 2.0, they come out and they're talking about things. They're talking about the situation with Kingston and the Proud and the Powerful. And they kept saying there's no physicality. Can't physicality between us until our match because there's none of that. And so they come out and Proud and Powerful and Eddie Kingston, they're just throwing around chairs and making a mess. And they get up in their faces and they really nobody has anything to say. Oh, what Jericho is really pissed and he wants an apology. And then Ortiz is just like, I got a present for you. He looks around, he does the middle finger thing. And then and that literally was a fart in church.
Giving the middle finger in your gloves, hilarious.
I feel like I'm in the Jericho Appreciation Society. No, I feel like I'm in the inner circle with these. So they just feel like they're saying nothing. Then after that went over like a fart in church. Then Santana's just like, ooh, I'm gonna make it a little longer. And so he does the same bit. And then Eddie gets on. He's like, I don't like any of this. I hate all of this. I hate the tables. I hate the chairs. I wish he said, I hate that middle finger thing that you guys just did. It's very dumb. But he's just like saying that he just wants to fight. Why didn't they fight? And all that stuff. And then Jericho says something about like, there's going to be a hit on you, Eddie Kingston. And then Eddie Kingston loses his goddamn mind.
He's like, he flipped the table over, right?
Yeah, he's just like, no, he already fit. I already thought the table was
I'm not sure.
But he's just like, where I come from, a hit means you're gone, partner. And then Jericho, he's just like, where's the mic? Give me the mic. You can't find the mic anywhere.
Because you know what happened, right? So first of all, he flips the table. Eddie flips the table, and he says, I guess I missed the hit part because I was really confused as to why Eddie said, this is stupid, I hate this, and I don't like the Sopranos. I was like, why is he talking about the Sopranos? Now I understand why. And then Jericho has the mic in his hand, and Eddie starts getting in his face and saying whatever he's saying, and Eddie slaps the mic out of Jericho's hand. So Jericho can't respond, but he has to respond in order to keep the promo going, in order to keep this fucking shit show on the rails a little bit. Look, I love Eddie, but Eddie doesn't want to fit into the box of these type of like interviews, television, sports entertainer kind of segments. He's not great at multi-man things. He's only good at like one-on-one showdowns. So
disruptive.
And he's disruptive.
To the
disjointed. And so he's just like, this is best right now. Slap the mic. But then Jericho has to be like, shit. So Magic Daddy,
this is best right now.
who's the Angelo, Cool Hand Ange, is like searching around the ring for the microphone. Like you see him like, oh fuck, and he's like looking around for it. And finally he finds the mic and gives it to Jericho, and Jericho gets on the mic at that point and gets this back on track. And the rest of this segment, once Jericho starts talking, is good.
Yeah, it feels very. Jericho just wants the segment to end, and it felt that way. And then Eddie like literally says, "Are you prepared to die?" Like he pretty much says that, and they leave. Just very intense, very intense.
Did you see? I thought it was very funny. I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but it probably not knowing Jericho. But so Eddie basically backs Jericho down into that chair and gets right into Jericho's face.
Yeah.
And after the promo's over, Jericho's just eyes are like, he's like completely in shock. Very funny.
It was very cute, and I like Jericho as this heel. It's very fun.
Yeah, this is exactly where he should be always.
Next up, we get Sammy Guevara and Ty. In the back, there's like this backstage segment, and Sammy's talking, and I really feel that Ty should do the talking for them.
Yeah.
Ty sucks at talking.
Ty's not good at talking, but
she
Sammy,
should do the talking.
Sammy I want everyone in the chat right now, drop a name into the chat for someone who you think is a worse talker than Sammy Guevara. And whatever you say is wrong, because he's the worst talker in the history of professional wrestling.
Because the worst talkers in the history, they don't try to talk every week.
Yeah.
He's trying. Yeah. He's like trying. Like, it's just hard. It's hard to watch. It's the cringiest. I get so uncomfortable watching.
Yeah.
It feels like watching someone blow their nose over and over and over. It's just like, oh.
And like look at it afterwards.
Yeah, we're looking at it, and like it's not like it's offensive. Like I have to turn away. I've seen you blow your nose. It's just like, man. Can you turn around when you do that? Man, I just can't take it. After that, though, we have another slobber knocker. We have one hell of a slobber knocker. We got Serena DEEB versus Hikaru Shida.
Yeah.
Wow. In a Philly street fight. They start fighting off real fast, real hard hitting, great stuff. We get some powder in the eyes, which was nice.
Yeah, I love that.
I like the powder in the eyes. But water fixes it. Water fixes everything. Honestly, I think the water, when she poured the water, because she got the powder in her eyes and she's like grabs the kendo stick and she can't see, which I thought was a really fun spot. Mm-hmm. You know, that like usually when people get powder or mist in their eyes, they kind of just forget about it in a few minutes.
Like The Undertaker on that episode of SmackDown in 200001.
When he had a face full of green paint, literally down to his nuts, and it's just still. She sold it, and then she swing blindly with the cane. She grabs some water, gets it out of her eyes. Even though that probably would make it worse. If you have flour in your eyes, and you're making
crusty.
Bread.
Yeah.
You're just making bread.
So crusty.
So she gets that, and we get an avalanche falcon arrow, very hard hitting. And what we get is a slam. She starts slamming her. DEEB gets her on the ground, starts slamming her knee into the ground, pulls her in, slams it onto a chair, and then hooks in the Texas Cloverleaf and gets the win.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Because now we're going to see her go on to face Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship. Awesome.
Yeah.
I am upset because I want DEEB to win it. And I don't think she's going to win it at this point. Yeah. There's been a lot of title changes recently. Mm-hmm. It feels almost like we'll talk about it again later tonight. Yeah. But they can't, even though I really think it's for the best to have DEEB with the championship.
Yeah,
she could make so many faces, while Thunder Rosa doesn't. There's a lot of heels in the that are pretty good in the women's division.
Yeah,
and there's no faces that are hot enough to face them. So why not put DEEB there, make some faces at the top?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
We're going to have to see. But a great match, and we're just very excited about it. Next up, we have MJF and Spears in the back, and they berate a poor interviewer telling her to leave.
DDP's daughter.
That's DDP's daughter?
Yeah.
We discussed that on a past episode of the Weekly Wrestle and or Who's and What's. Or maybe on our news podcast, Empty Arena. You should check it out. What did we talk about this week? Bubba and what else?
And
Abyss versus AJ Styles, Lockdown 2005.
Great match.
We have a review of it. Brooklyn Bleak says, Jumpin' Jack Farmer.
He's a worse talker? Come on. That's seen actual success.
S writes, I was thinking of that guy, Brooklyn. His name wasn't coming to mind. Well done. Tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat. Tip of the hat of the week.
That yawn is very funny to me. Okay, we got to keep moving. We got to keep it going because MJF was talking about that he has a plan for Wardlow, and he makes a call. He says, "Hey, big man, you free for blah blah blah?" And he's just like, "Oh, good thing. See you then." And he's just like, "Wardlow, I have an opponent for you that is stronger than you, faster than you,
smarter than you,
and smarter than you and taller than you. And you can't teach that."
Enzo Amore. It's Enzo Amore.
If they're bringing in Big Cass, they're bringing in Enzo.
I think Big Cass has done a good job of establishing himself independently of Enzo.
I'm sure
as W. Morrissey.
But AEW doesn't need Lance Archer 2.0. They don't need another Lance Archer, which is essentially what he is.
Yeah, he's gonna be a one-nighter. He's one-nighter.
No. I think
you would love that. You would love
that. A real
that.
one is coming.
You would
Enzo, I would love that. I would love that. I miss my fast talking Skywalker. You know,
that was his name.
He's called himself a lot of things.
Yeah. Sure.
We'll see though. Let us know. Next up, the lights go out, go back on, and there's someone laying on the ground. It's Fuego del Sol.
Yeah.
Fuego del Sol's laying in the ground. And one of the issue is Malachi Black comes out, the House of Black come out, and he's about to unmask Fuego. The issue is, there's a few issues here. First thing, Fuego's not very popular enough for people to recognize who he is when he's laying on the ground. So nobody cared in the audience. No, we knew because Excalibur's like, Fuego, but the lights on him, you can't even see that it's a red mask. It's just this masked person on the ground. Stupid idea. And they've done nothing so far besides attack Fuego del Sol. Why do we care about them? Why do we care?
Well, we
but
care.
Then, then some real nonsense happens. Then we get Alex Abrahantes is in the ring with his druid thing, but it's obviously not him. It's obviously his face is covered and he's swaying back and forth in this weird way, and it doesn't sound like that. He sounds like he's coming from like a studio, but he's like moving around like this. And then we get Penta comes out, and Alex says over the loudspeaker, like, "Oh, I've only been dressing like this to fool you, so our plan could go into action or something." And then Penta comes out, Pac comes out, and then they're looking at them. They're just like, "Well, what are you going to do? We're not going to look at Alex Abrahantes. Obviously, that's only him because we've never seen his face, and he's acting completely unlike Alex." But they found out it is Phoenix, and Phoenix, they fight around for a little bit. Phoenix, for some reason, takes some offense from Buddy Murphy. Did Buddy Murphy not realize that you should just let the guy who came back from a broken arm just have some fun for a second? Buddy Murphy's just like, "No, it's a shoot." And then we get them beating him up, and we get them celebrating. I don't know. I don't care about this.
Sure.
I thought this was fun. Yeah. This was fun, but not for the reasons they want it to be fun. That's not like fun. Like, oh, this is a fun turn in the storyline. This is more one of those just like, wow, that was messy. That was stupid. I could watch that again.
I don't know. I don't know. Here's the thing. How do you do this, right? What's the right way to handle this in wrestling? Like when a partner gets injured in the WWE, like a tag team partner gets injured, they take the healthy partner and just take him off television, and he's just gone along with everybody else. You had this feud set up with House of Black and the Death Triangle. This was your feud. And then Homeboy breaks his arm. So what AEW decides to do is just have House of Black tread water for 6 weeks, cutting incoherent promos backstage and all these video packages and all these things just to keep the ball rolling in order for Phoenix to get healthy and come back. But now that they've done that, am I still invested? I don't know. But look, I am here for a Phoenix Buddy Murphy match. All the way. Buddy Matthews? Is that what he is now?
Buddy, I don't know. Buddy Ezekiel?
Hammer Time.
Hammer Time. That was a Hammer exclusive.
Wait, I like the other one.
Oh, which
Bonk. Yeah.
We got some comments in here. Wow, there's a lot of comments here. So, S writes, Cass looks like a giant version of Edge.
Yeah,
I see it. I see it.
Yes.
A much healthier looking Edge. Brooklyn
Now.
Bleak says Big Cass is Impact now, but Enzo is an MLW, and he's put on so much muscle weight. I can't wait to see Enzo come back and just spew stuff. Brooklyn Bleak says, lol, thanks. No, thank you. We have S writes, Fuego is a cult favorite in AEW. He's super popular. I'm just saying, no one would recognize Fuego.
Oh, Fuego.
I just don't. I think people love him like a puppy dog, and I don't think people. He doesn't get. Nobody takes him seriously, and not like in the way that Mikey Whipwreck wasn't taken seriously. Mikey Whipwreck earned a lot of like love and compassion. Like they kind of treat him like a dog. Like Fuego's just he doesn't win any matches. He's only looked like an idiot. Like Mikey Whipwreck looked tough. Like he's gonna give it his all always. Like Sammy Guevara bought Fuego a car because he won.
Right.
Sammy won. He's like, I'm gonna buy you a car.
Yeah. After he lost his car to Rusev or to Miro.
Whatever.
I forgot. Also, I just wanted to take a quick second to go back to the DEEB SHEEDA match. DEEB had like the biggest fucking knot on her face at the end of that match. And she kept trying to like throw her hair back to show it off to make sure the cameras got it, but it hurt so much that she couldn't help but be like, "Ow!" I just wanted to point that out.
Good pointing out.
Yeah,
Fuego.
see the thing. I think people like us, people at home watching the show, know who Fuego is. But Red, I get your point because the lights are out. There's just a guy lying there. If I'm in the audience and I'm live, and I'm like a passive AEW fan who loves going to live wrestling shows, I may be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like that's definitely possible.
Yeah, I don't think the crowd knew what was going on when they saw this body laying there that's masked with a bright light, so bright that it looks blue.
And it's green, too.
Yeah, it's this weird light.
Yeah, like blue-green, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was weird. It was weird.
It takes away from his mask and the whole, like,
but I will stick with the fact that I think they've treated him like a piece of shit. And Fuego. I don't think anyone could care about him with the way that they've taught. His character sucks. His character just sucks.
I don't know if he's that bad.
I think he's a fine performer. I think he's a good athlete. I just think the way that they've presented him, he looks like an idiot all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brooklyn Bleak says, yeah, wouldn't mind seeing Fuego del Sol versus Ninja Mac on AEW.
Enemy spotted.
Who said that? Bleak?
You are fake news.
Come on. Get that out of here.
We don't want to see Ninja Mac and Fuego on AEW.
Wait, who said that?
Brooklyn Bleak. In Brooklyn Bleak, we're usually so on the same page.
Bleak.
And but
Ninja Mac is growing on me, but I don't want to see him on AEW television.
I'm going to give you one of these.
Dark.
I appreciate your bravery saying Ninja Mac needs to be at AEW. It's tough. It's double tough. S writes, Bleak, you are on fire. And Fuego. S.
You picked the wrong house, fool. Enemy spotted.
Stop. Brooklyn Bleak says they should just introduce the trios title.
Yes,
they're waiting for Kenny because you can't do it without Kenny.
That's also true.
You can't do it without Kenny. That's my impersonation of Tony Khan. We gotta
keep rolling.
Where are we?
We're at an hour and we got to do 45 minutes on the main event.
Jesus Christ. Tony and Schiavone. God damn. Tony Schiavone with Darby Allin and Swerve in the back.
Yeah.
And Swerve is just like, yeah, we're not friends. I just like to beat you up. And then Darby's like, it's not your house. It's Darby's house. And it's going to be Darby's tournament afterward, too. Did you like it? Did you like this?
I did.
Yeah. It was whatever.
This is a good example of what Joe talks about and how AEW talks about history that they can't access. They fought a bunch in the Seattle area, and Defy, because they both came from Seattle. But, like, I don't know. I want to hear more about it. I want to see some footage.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And Joe, good friend of the show. Get on one of these. You should also press the like button if you haven't already. But we appreciate all of you. And Brooklyn Bleak, I'm sorry if I was too hard on you before. I'm going to give you something. I think I made it better.
Thank you, my friend.
We got to keep going. Then the Undisputed Elite, which is Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks, versus the Varsity Blondes, Dante Martin, Brock Anderson, and Lee Johnson. I have to start this off with, who did Dante piss off? Why is he in the flunky crew? Just not right. It's not right.
That's
Dante, I wrote Dante deserves better.
He does.
This is not how to use Dante.
He does. I remember nothing about this match.
There's nothing to remember. They got way too much offense in. Those kids got way too much offense in on this one. And then we get a boom kick for the win. This on Shody for the win. Should not have been this long.
No.
And Dante should not have been a part of it.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
I don't know why they didn't just have the Varsity Blondes and Shotty and who else was it? Brock. Let them be in the match against the Young Bucks and Red Dragon, and then have Adam Cole just on the outside. Like, let's see if we can work together.
Smart.
And then you don't have fucking Dante in there to ruin it because Dante doesn't. That's bad optics for him to be in that loser's crew.
Dante can be outside the ring. Dante and Adam Cole get into a beef, and then they wrestle each other, and that's a good match.
But what does Dante have to do with any of that?
Good point.
I don't like
Good
this.
point.
It's
The Job Squad.
It's the Job.
Dante.
Should bring back the Job Squad.
They should bring back the Job Squad. You know who should run the Job Squad?
Brock Anderson.
QT Marshall.
QT Marshall should run the Job Squad. You know who belongs in the Job Squad? If I've ever seen them in my life, Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is meant for the Job Squad.
No way.
Put him in there. Actually, you could call the best friends the Job Squad.
You should.
And it wouldn't miss a beat. It wouldn't miss a beat.
Come on.
It's the same thing.
The best friend should turn on Chuck, and Chuck should join the Job Squad.
They should just all be Job. They just fire them. I know. I don't want that.
No.
I'm joking. And then at the end of that match, they all put T-shirts on.
Yeah, because they're all part of the group. They're all together until
I
Kenny
can't
comes
tell
back.
what Matt and Nick are trying to do. I
They're
don't
not good
tell what their facial expressions are. Just like I can't read it at all. And not in like, oh, they're playing it so close to the vest. It's like I don't know if you want to be on this show or not. Like it looks like you're so disinterested with just being there.
Yeah. I could see that.
We have some comments in here. We have a lot of things here. Brooklyn Bleak says he would get over big, whatever. They would put on a great match. Like, oh, yeah, he's mad at me for the dramatic thing. He would get over big, whatever. They would put on a great match like that early Low Key versus Amazing Red match in early TNA.
That's great. That's a great call.
I love Low Key and Amazing Red. I just don't think that they're the same performers. But well, that's fair. Brooklyn Bleak says, "Well, whatever. It was funny. Bless you, Brooklyn Bleak. We love you." What's great about us? We could all disagree.
Yeah.
And we're still friends about it. Brooklyn Bleak says Top Flight had a match on Dark this week. Oh, and you know what? What? It must have been taped. It was pre-taped.
Yeah.
It must have been taped a week ago because Darius is out injured. We talked about the Weekly Wrestle this past week's Weekly Wrestle. That's right. So that's a good point about Swerve and Darby and Defy. It would be super cool if AEW paid for footage from Indies so that they could show it when they reference the past. Would help AEW's product
100%.
And give some money to the Indies. I don't think that's. If they do that, great. I think if they don't do that, don't mention it.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
I agree with that.
And so if they're talking about it right now, they better be getting those rights.
Yes.
But moving on, we have Magic Daddy. He's got a scoop for everyone. During that segment where they're putting on the T-shirts, Excalibur's just like, "Oh, something's going on," and I was like, "Is someone coming out of the crowd?" And they did explain. And then Jarrett's just like, "Oh, we got someone in the back," and Magic Daddy has a scoop. He's got a scoop for every one of these.
What is it? He said, "Hey, newsman, I got a scoop for you."
It's really good. And they're beating up, the JAS is beating up Eddie and Santana Ortiz. And then a fireball is blown into Eddie's eyes. And he can't see it with my eyes. I got fire in my eyes. I can't see anything. Was this a good way to escalate this, Steve?
I got a text from our running buddy, Alex. And he said, after that segment, I wish the last 10 seconds just didn't happen. So Alex doesn't like it.
He's not a fan.
I liked it.
Isn't there supposed to be no physicality?
It was no, I think just in that segment they can beat each other up outside. But I know. I don't know. It was different. Give me something different. I said out loud to no one when they had him, when they had Jericho Kingston restrained. I said, I hope they don't just use the bat again. I hope they do something different. They did something different. Fireball, very different. And it was a good fireball, too.
It was a good fireball. It was just weird.
There goes those perfectly manicured eyebrows of his. Tell you that. Those are burned off.
Oh, that's good. Shave them off.
Yeah.
Tony hates it, though. He says, Jericho could go to hell.
Yeah, I love
Tony
that.
Schiavone said that. You know what, fellas? I'm going to say it. Jericho could go to hell.
Yeah. He took that from Bash at the Beach 1996.
He says it all the time.
Hulk Hogan, well, the first time he ever said it, it's very famous. The first time he ever said that was when Hogan became a bad guy. And as the NWO, not yet known as the NWO, was celebrating in the middle of the ring as they were going off the air, Tony Schiavone said, Hulk Hogan, you could go to hell. It's the first time he ever said that.
Tony Schiavone's hyperbolic comments are to X-Pax's saying "suck it." It doesn't mean anything anymore. He says it so much.
Sure.
But yeah, next up we get a preview of what's going to be happening on Rampage.
Pretty good
Hook
show.
versus Danhausen.
So it's a confrontation. It's not a match.
Oh, okay.
It's a face-to-face confrontation, whatever that means.
Okay, I thought it was a match.
Maybe the biggest pop of the night. Well, I don't know about the biggest pop of the night, but one of the biggest pops of the night was the pop for that graphic. People went fucking crazy for that graphic. That's a nuts match. Yeah.
But I will say, because they're seeing it that night. They're seeing it tonight.
Right.
That's why they're losing it.
Yeah.
But the idea of Hook versus Danhausen, I hope before they bring him out on Rampage, they do a video package on Danhausen. Like, it's about time we learn something about Danhausen. Like, just introduce him, have him talk for a little bit. Give me something. Other than that, he's a guy. All we know is he's a guy that wears makeup and curses people. And I feel like that's not enough for the diehards love him, and they're going to love him no matter what. Yep. But the people that are just tuning in that haven't seen anything have zero reason to like him. Yep. Absolutely zero. Nothing he has done on TV has caused us to like him yet, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is Goose being a goose?
Goose just got let into the room.
That's sweet. Yeah. That's very sweet. We have some comments here. S writes, throwing fire is totally classic. A throwback, if you will. S, you cheeky son of a gun. John Buseman writes, a fireball after Eddie literally threatened to kill him feels goofy, but that's Jericho. Yeah, that's a funny way to go about it.
Well, it's very sports entertainment,
But John Buseman heard what you said about the eyebrows. He's like, oh no, his eyebrows. They better shave them off.
Yeah.
That should be a part of it.
Well, I think they burned them off.
Oh, they had to have.
Yeah, they had to have. Like, legitimately. Not just in storyline. No,
I don't think they were really burned off.
That's a fireball, dog.
It's just for a second.
It's flash paper.
Brooklyn Bleak says the fireball is very sports entertainment-esque of Jericho.
There you go.
It is.
There you go.
But Santana and Ortiz doing that stupid middle finger thing is the most sports entertainment shit I've ever seen in my life.
Sports entertainment.
Yeah. It's so sports entertainment. We got to keep going. We get a preview of some other things happening. Samoa Joe versus Trent is coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming up on my page.
They're showing a video package for it. And Trent, he was in Ring of Honor for a long time, and he never won a championship.
I got nothing to show for it.
And Joe says he's going to kill him, essentially.
Yeah, which he will.
He will kill him. It's not going to be it. Job Squad on our back since birth. 1, 2, 3, 4 life.
We should do a retrospective on the Job Squad.
We should do a retrospective. Honestly, I don't know if that copyright is still had, but we should buy it.
We should fucking buy that.
Buy it. Call our show the Job Squad.
Such a good idea. The JOB Squad.
We just said it worldwide right now, and now we're gonna lose this fucking idea. We
it.
said it first, and it's timestamped this date and time.
Brooklyn Bleak literally just bought the copyright to it.
If you buy it, let us use it a little bit, Brooklyn Bleak.
Yeah,
we have to keep going because we have the main event.
Yeah, yes, we sure do.
We sure do, don't we?
We sure do,
don't we? Scorpio, Skye, and Sammy Guevara are coming out to the ring. Scorpio Skye is a heel, coming out being a heel, and Sammy Guevara is
No,
a
he's
heel.
not.
Yeah, he is.
Scorpio came out as a babyface.
Oh, I beg to differ. He's flipping off the fans. He's giving
No,
them
he's
the.
not.
I saw him do this so many times during the match to the crowd. Like, yeah, he's being a heel. As a matter of
He's
fact,
not
the
being
first
a heel.
portion of the match, he's wrestling like a heel. And like the crowd is just like, what do we do with this? What do we do with this?
I don't know.
The crowd was so dead for this, except they were like, oh, we're gonna see people fly off things, and that's what we really care about. And that's the reason that they were into this match. There's no other reason to be into this.
I had a different
There's
interpretation.
no one to like. There's no one to like.
I had a different interpretation. Not gonna lie.
What is it?
I think this whole thing, from start to finish. I'm gonna wait for you to finish.
That's sports entertainment.
This whole thing was set up to give Scorpio his big babyface moment. This was it. Because what happened was they gave Scorp the title as a heel, but then very quickly after that, they noticed that the crowd was starting to turn on Sammy. So they said, fuck it. Let's call a mulligan. We can do this sometimes. It's professional wrestling. We determine the outcomes. So, yeah, Sammy will win the title again. And he'll cheat to do it, and now he's the bad guy. Everybody's booing him, but now we can give Scorpio the babyface run that we never intended to give him, and it's because of Ethan Page.
If that is their intention, about some of it,
Yeah.
this was him. He was a heel. If you watch this again, Sammy was being a babyface, wrestling like a babyface the first half of this match.
No, he
Until
wasn't.
he did the snow angel on the ground, was he being a heel?
The problem is, it's hard to tell when Sammy's wrestling as a babyface or a heel because it's the same fucking thing.
No, I agree, but that's the issue. Like he hasn't really differentiated. That's the issue. But I'm saying they went into there and Scorpio was 100% doing heel shit. This was a heel thing. And that's they kind of like, and Sammy couldn't pick. He was all over the place. And then there were definitely moments where Scorpio kind of turned in there, but it was just a very confusing match. Psychology wise, very confusing, not just personally, but also fucking make some sense with a fucking ladder match.
I know.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
They're on the ground, they're unconscious, and they're like, Scorpio Sky's like, oh, you know what I would love to do that I've never done before, and it's totally unlike me in any way? I'm gonna bring out a barbed wire ladder.
Right, that really bothered me too. That really, really bothered me. There was that, before we even get to the barbed wire spot, there's this one spot, and it's maybe, and it's here we go. This is hyperbolic, and I apologize, but it may not
I'm
be.
ready for it.
Maybe the worst spot I've ever seen in the history of any ladder match I've ever watched, ever. And I saw Kevin Nash versus CM Punk in a TLC match. No, it was Kevin Nash versus Triple H. It was Kevin Nash versus Triple H, which is, no, I was fine. No, it wasn't. When Sammy climbs up the ladder, he like starts to climb up the ladder at one point.
Yeah.
And then he's far from it. So then he gets off, but then moves the ladder farther away. Yeah. And then he does this, I'm loco. And it's like, hey, man, do you do that when you're a babyface or you're a heel? Because you just do the same shit all the time and you're the exact same boring ass wrestler. Our running buddy, Alex Merkin, texted me and he said, Sammy is Brian Cage with drop kicks, which is pretty funny.
That's Merkin?
Yeah, Merkin said that.
That's a good fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're both fucking boring as shit. And then so
cringy.
Sammy, right before they go to a commercial break, it's like, I'm just going to do I've never seen a flip like this before. I don't even know what he did with his body, but nobody told Scorpio because he wasn't there. And Sammy just like crashes and burns in the worst possible way. And then Excalibur's like, we'll be right back. And then they just go to commercial. And it was
messy.
Awful. It was awful.
So stupid. Sammy does the dive. There's this one part where Scorpio is trying to grab the belts, and then Sammy, which was a kind of interesting spot, tries to jump at him from another ladder, but he does a cutter.
Yeah,
that was fine.
So they did that. That was the well, how did that happen in the Cody match?
No, that happened in a different way. I think there was a springboard into the ladder.
Yeah.
Like Sammy springboarded up to get on the ladder, but he brought him down with a cutter.
Yeah, which was a better spot.
Much better spot. But then we get the barbed wire ladder. There's ECW chants, and they do a Spanish fly onto the ladder, getting Scorpio Sky on the ladder. And I have a huge problem. I don't need them to have I understand you shouldn't use real barbed wire.
Yeah.
I understand that. I get that. Wear a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Wear something so we can't see that there's no scratches on your body.
Yep.
There's absolutely no blood. If you fell on barbed wire, it cut you up. I've seen it.
Yep.
We've all seen it. Anyone who ever saw a wrestling match with barbed wire in it, real barbed wire, or they see the blood coming from it. If you fall flat back, barebacked onto it, and no scratches come, it feels like it feels like a joke.
Yep. It's even worse later in the match, too.
Yeah, it gets worse.
Even worse later in the match.
And there's just I can't wait to talk about that one spot. No scratches on his back. Then Lambert gets in the ring, and Lambert's being a heel, and then Ty Conti comes in the ring, and she gives him a low blow. That was stiff.
Hold on a second. I could be wrong about this. Somebody back me up. Lambert didn't get in the ring.
Oh, he was pulled in the ring by Sammy.
Lambert was minding his own fucking business because he's a babyface now. And Sammy's the heel, and Sammy pulled him into the ring because he had the match under control. He had Scorpio down, and rather than go for the title because he's a bad guy now, he pulls Dan Lambert into the ring. And the crowd doesn't know what to do because they don't want to cheer Dan Lambert yet. They're very confused. And then
the terrible time to give someone a championship when the fans are confused about how to feel about them.
They're confused about Dan Lambert. They're
confused about Scorpio Skye too, because Scorpio Skye is confused about Scorpio Skye.
Yeah.
Like him flipping out the fans, just like "fuck you."
He didn't do that. That did not happen.
On the ramp, holding up.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you did it.
I gotta go back and watch it.
I remember thinking, like, "You idiot!"
Also,
with my fingerless gloves on, like, come on.
The real baby.
I feel like a wet bandit from Home Alone.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. The real baby face is Ethan Page, if we're being honest. The way he cuts promos, how intense he can be, his facials, he's the real true baby face of this group. But that's fine. It doesn't matter in this moment. Yeah, that low blow. Oh, boy.
That was rough. Ty fucking just tagged him. Tagged him right in the nuts. The hardest low blow kick I've ever seen in wrestling.
There's a noise that was not by Dan, but like the noise of maybe his balls getting hit.
Something getting hit, but there was also the noise right after of Dan. All the air out of his lungs. He was just like, oh! And he fell right over. It was rough. It was hard to watch. It was honestly very sad to watch. But it gets a kick in the nuts, and then Paige Van Zandt comes out.
Right. She looked okay.
She did fine, but that's the thing. Like, why are we bringing people in very serious, complicated things
where they could set up this mixed tag match? They're doing too much right now. There's too much going on in this whole thing. I just wish in the middle of this ladder match, Jungle Boy's music hit, and he was like, "I'll make it up to you, Papa Christian," and he runs down and grabs the title, and
he's the
away.
champion.
Yeah, and he's just the champ. That's it.
Sammy. So then the Paige Van Zandt, the Sammy and Ty fight. Then Sammy completely stopped selling at one point so we could make out with her.
Yep.
And then he's no longer in pain.
Yeah, and that's when JR said somebody call the tongue police.
Yeah, he said somebody call the tongue police, and no one came.
Yeah, the tongue police didn't show up.
Never showed up. Then brings out the barbed wire ladder and leans it up against the ropes. Then Paige and Ty kick each other at the same time. And then they get on the backs of both of them on top of the ladder, which was done. They had this little hockey fight.
Right at the beginning of that spot, I was like, oh, this is okay. This is interesting. And then,
if there was a reason for them to be up there, sure. Yeah. If like they could grab the titles too, if this was like a mixed tag where anyone could grab the title for this intergender promotional tag match or something, I don't know. Right. But it just made no sense. And then they fall down, whatever. Then Sammy knocks over Scorpio Skye off the ladder.
Right.
He's about to grab the title.
Right.
Then Scorpio Skye tips the ladder over, having Sammy fall directly on the barbed wire ladder, destroying him. Scorpio Skye victoriously climbs up.
Dude.
And this is seconds. Man. This is literally seconds after. Climbs up. Doesn't take that long because he's feeling fresh. He doesn't feel fresh. He's going for the title. Look who's springboarding into the ring. He sprangboard into the ring. No scratches on his back.
No.
Literally, his ass is showing, and there's nothing.
Completely unfazed.
And he gets up there, and he brawls for a second, then he gets knocked down again. And that's when Scorpio Skye grabs the title. What a stupid thing.
It was really.
You had a
fucking
great
stupid.
spot to end it. And
Yeah.
what you did is you nuked that spot
Yep.
for that match and every other time we see barbed wire on AEW. On AEW, we're like, oh, barbed wire is bullshit in AEW. Let us have the belief. If you had a t-shirt on, if they wore street clothes for a street fight and then they fell into it, we'd be like, that might be real barbed wire. We don't know what their back looks like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I just feel like barbed wire shouldn't be used if you're like not wearing street clothes.
Yeah.
Like you should be wearing street clothes. Like barbed wire is a special thing set up for like special wrestlers. And I guess it's like, well, anybody could use barbed wire, I guess, but like not in this situation. And why is it on a ladder?
I don't want to sound hardcore but I'm just like, if you have to use fake barbed wire, maybe just don't use barbed wire.
Yeah,
I don't like the idea of people getting cut up or things like that, but like something shouldn't be gimmicked because it's dumb to gimmick them.
If you watch, and I hate to like really throw this, we're really going down this path, but we're going for it. If you watch Royal Rumble 2000, Cactus Jack versus Triple H, they bust out the barbed wire 2x4 and it's real.
Yeah.
The first time they use it, it's real. And then the ref takes it away and they go and they hide it by the timekeeper's table. And then Cactus Jack is like, give that back to me. And they pull out a fake one. They do the old switcheroo.
You notice how one's more tightly wound than the other one?
Exactly. And then Cactus uses that and Triple H blades. That's when you use fake barbed wire. Not in a situation like this where you can't hide the fact that it's fake.
Yeah, and let me take back what I said about they should use real barbed wire. I do take that back because the thing is, like, wrestling is a work. If you could work people into believing that what you're doing is real, that's the point of it.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing the tricks necessary to suspend that disbelief by making it seem just a little bit like it's an actual contest, then what am I watching?
What are we doing?
What am I watching?
Yeah.
Honestly, this was a great night, and it had the worst ladder match I think I've ever seen. I can't think of one where I liked less.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are worse ones out there, but I can't think of any right now either.
I liked Randy Orton versus John Cena for the Unified Championship, TLC 2011?
2014.
14? Yeah.
That's not surprising to me, or is it 13? I think that was 13. It was 13.
Whatever. It was a fine match. It was a fine, intelligent match.
The Tower of Power Wrestling Hour was happening at that time.
Yeah, we might have covered it.
Yeah.
We might have covered it.
We might have covered that.
Holy shit, that was right around that time.
Yeah.
But we have some comments here. S writes, barbed wire ladder was caused the show in Philly led to a big ECW chant. So I get why they had it in Philly.
I get it. But like,
But
can't
the
you
thing
do
is-
that in another match? Can't you do that in the SHEEDA match? Give me barbed wire in the women's match. It's a street fight.
Yeah, 100%. Or give, that would have been perfect. That should have been the main event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brooklyn Bleak says, oh, okay. What? What does that
What were
mean?
we talking about?
No, Brooklyn Bleak pointed up, and I'm not sure which one you're pointing at. But excellent job today, everyone. Excellent job.
Nobody has any thoughts or feelings about this fucking ladder match? Are we crazy for thinking this was this stupid?
I think we bummed everyone out with our take,
Yeah.
but I think it's real. We did get
is
into the
real.
like during it, so maybe we're onto something. Thank you all so much for joining us. We had so much fun today.
We did. We went wild.
We had so much fun. And you know what I'm going to be doing after this?
What?
Going to play some WWE 2K22
Hell
with
yeah.
these bad boys. I gotta work my way up because Road Dogg's really on my ass right now. Road Dogg is really on my ass about training. I'm facing Austin Theory next week. I joined NXT. Guys. I was in the Performance Center, and they're just like, "Who are you going to fight? Who are you going to fight? Are you going to fight Oni Lorcan, Shinsuke Nakamura, or Drew McIntyre?" And they said, or the hardest one, Drew McIntyre. It's like, give me Drew McIntyre. I go to Raw, beat the shit out of Drew McIntyre, and then they're like, which brand you want to go do? It's in NXT.
Can you, in your review of this game on Saturday at the Weekly Wrestle, can you include a screenshot of what your Creator guy looks like?
I'll bring a video.
I love it. I love that.
I'll bring my entrance video. Thank you all so much. This has been a lot of fun. Please follow us on all the things. Check out our TikTok. We have a beautiful spit take video on TikTok. It's available for everyone. Let your friends know that you saw that spit take. here. I think that's how viral things work. You just have to say it like that. You got to pitch it. You got to pitch it. Then call the hotline 201-5747-222.
222.
Because we want to hear it.
Hey, if you got some spare ducats, a spare shekel or two, drop that over on the Patreon. We're hanging out.
Check out the Patreon if you got a few ducats. You got a few shillings. You got a rubles in your pocket. Yeah, you got a franc or two in your butt.
We've gone too far.
We have some comments here. Now they're jumping in. Yeah. S says the crowd went crazy for the match. You were all crazy.
They went crazy for the end. I'm telling you, they popped big for Scorp, but they were a little lost in the beginning.
Brooklyn Bleak says they did. S says it was a fun hot mess of a match. It was a hot mess. We're on the same page there. Brooklyn Bleak says the latter match needed more Ninja Mac. You guys are fucking.
I love it. Fight back.
You are fake news.
Hey, come on.
You are fake.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay, we got to jump on out of here. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. Smash that like button on your way out. Check us out. Check out our podcast. We got it up right now. It's a lot of fun. We talked about Bubba Ray Dudley on Stone Cold's podcast. We did a podcast reviewing Stone Cold's podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a good time, though.
It's
you don't have to listen to Bubba Ray because we talk about all the good stuff.
We cut through the bullshit.
The bullshit.
And actually, if you watch it and then watch the thing, you might catch some of the passive aggressiveness of them between. Really check it out. And one more thing. Speaking of the Patreon, that Discord thing sure is fun. We'll see you in the Discord, S. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye, everyone. Everyone have a great night. Give it to me, Roy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, switch stays.
Ole. 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 Ole.